We're wrapping the Chargers 2021 season, 9-8, just short of the playoffs. Time for a Beat Writers Roundtable. Daniel Popper, The Athletic, Jeff Miller, LA Times, Gilbert Benzano, Southern California News Group. And guys, first topic here, just your overall takeaway from the 2021 season. Gil, we'll start with you.
I don't know. It fell short. Kind of a disappointment. We were talking earlier before we started recording. It felt like a very talented team, a team that should have been in the playoffs. Justin Herbert played lights out. So for me, it's like he fell short. How does a team this stacked with 6 Pro Bowlers and a lights out quarterback and Derwin James health to keep in mind not make it to the playoffs? So I'll go with kind of a fell short at the finish line.
Jeff, what about you?
It's remarkable given that the way Herbert played that this team didn't make the playoffs. I mean, it's beyond stunning if you just look at that aspect of it. Having said that, I think it's encouraging. If you're a Charger fan, they have a really good young quarterback. They have a really good young left tackle. Those are two things that most teams in the NFL are struggling to find and struggle year in and year out in some cases. So it's really, Gil's right, very disappointing. This team should be in the playoffs, but if I'm a Charger fan, I'm encouraged. I feel a lot better about this team than a lot of other fans feel about their teams right now. So I would say fans should be discouraged or disappointed, but encouraged.
Popper.
Yeah, I'll give you one positive and one negative. So the positive is that the Chargers entered this season trying to build a structure for Justin Herbert where he could excel both schematically and in terms of personnel. They went out and they did that successfully. This was an excellent, efficient offense this year, and Justin Herbert played an outstanding level, setting franchise records and emerging as one of the best quarterbacks in football. The negative is there's a ton of work to be done defensively. I mean, this defense was straight up not good any way you slice it. They weren't good on third down. They weren't good in any area of the field. And that is something that this team is going to have to build heading into this offseason is how do they get this defense to a place where they can win games and put Justin Herbert in a position to win a Super Bowl?
All right, guys, second topic. This is going to be hard. Favorite Justin Herbert play this season? Jeff, why don't you kick this off?
This was easy for me, and I'm glad I'm going first because I'm going to give these guys everything because he completed like 450 passes, right? I'm going to discount all those. I don't care about any of those. I'm going to go with his one reception, the 2-point play in Cincinnati. That and his spike and his screaming to the heavens as they're crushing the Bengals. And what was probably the highlight of the season, probably the peak of the season, they're beating a Bengals team that was about to finish off the season, winning its division. So I'm going to go with the one reception that Justin Herbert had this season.
What a fantastic answer. Popper.
I'm going with the end of half touchdown to Jalen Guyton against the Giants because it's still the greatest throw I've ever seen. The fact that he was able to throw the ball that far while getting hit still blows my mind. I've gone out to a football field and thrown a football just to put it into context to see if I can come anywhere close to it. And I don't understand how it's humanly possible to throw the ball that far, that accurately with a 300-pound man tackling him. I don't understand. So it's beyond belief, and that is easily the highlight of the year for me for Justin Herbert.
Gilbert, the good news, there's still a lot of good ones on the board.
Yeah, but Jeff and Pop took the two best ones that I wanted to pick, the catch and the Jalen Guyton touchdown. But I'll go with the recent one because it doesn't get better than a buzzer beater in Las Vegas. Justin Herbert and Mike Williams, to send it to overtime. I still can't believe what I saw in person. I was next to Popper and Jeff, and we pretty much lost our mind. So to have a dart like your Steph Curry at a buzzer beater, doesn't get better than that.
All right, gentlemen, topic 3 here. Team MVP. I think we can all agree it's Justin Herbert. Take Mr. Herbert out of the conversation. Who is the Chargers team MVP this season? Popper.
Outside of Justin Herbert, I think you have to start with Derwin James. I know the defense wasn't good, as I said earlier, but it would have been a whole lot worse if Derwin James was not healthy this season. The amount of things that he did on that side of the ball, the number of positions he played, it really allowed this defense to be a better version of what it could have been if he was missing time. So I got to start with Derwin outside of Justin Herbert.
Gilbert.
Okay, Derwin James off the board. So I'll go Corey Linsley, the center. Should be an All-Pro again. Went to the Pro Bowl for the first time, which I'm surprised to be the first time Pro Bowler because Corey made a big difference with the offensive line. Yeah, Rashawn Slater was great, Matt Filer as well, but this offensive line does not improve that drastically without Corey Linsley. So a big sign for Tom Telesco and a big get for Justin Herbert because those two guys had instant chemistry.
Yeah, Corey, so instrumental in Justin's development in year 2. Jeff, what about you?
Well, those are going to be my first two choices. I would have also maybe said Slater, but you know what? I'm going to say Austin Eckler. 20 touchdowns, scoring the ball, as people like to say these days. That's what you do, right? In the NFL and any other sport, you're trying to score. And it's hard to look past 20 touchdowns. This guy, he had just a fantastic season. What a great investment the Chargers made. And just, it's a great story. I think everyone, we all like Austin. It's a cool story. And I'll go with him. He had a great season and made such a big difference in so many games.
Only LaDainian Tomlinson with more total touchdowns in Chargers history in a single season. Quite impressive. All right, guys, final topic. The biggest priorities this offseason for the Chargers. What's number one on the checklist, Jeff?
Well, we're all going to rush to say this, right? It's got to be a right tackle. They've got to get another tackle. They've got to get an offense. Oh, there's Spop. Of course, he's going to go defense. That's okay. I still say you've got to get a right tackle. That's the first thing I'm thinking about. And they could get anybody on literally any position on defense. They need to add guys. But I'm going to go with right tackle. I think if they can get a right tackle, all of a sudden they get an elite offensive line. And my goodness, there's this offense, the idea that they can take it to another level, it's there, it's possible, definitely. And I'd love to see it. So I'm going to say right tackle.
Popper has another opinion. What is it?
Of course.
So I agree that they need to find a right tackle. I do agree with that take, but I think the number one priority is the defensive line. Like, they have to bolster that group. They have to bring in multiple players on the defensive line to improve that run defense, to improve that front, to improve the front seven. Justin Jones and Linval Joseph, both free agents, so they have to make decisions on those guys. If they bring both of those, that additional 2 defensive linemen minimum in free agency and in the draft to bolster that front. So that's where I go in terms of priority.
Gilbert, you have the final word, my friend.
Third pick, yes, right tackle, defensive line. They're big priorities, but I'm going to go cornerback. Chris Harris Jr. as a free agent. Michael Davis kind of struggled in that role as a number 1 outside cornerback. Asante did great as a rookie, but as we learned that a lot of injuries occurred in the secondary. They need more corners. Kind of mix it up because you're playing against Patrick Mahomes, Derek Carr, twice a year. So I'll go cornerback. Maybe not as big as the other ones, but I feel like it's still a big priority for the Chargers on defense.